This video is going to walk through the procedure for the Kool-Aid molarity lab. This is not for the dilution or part 2, this is only for the molarity portion. I'm going to go through the procedure using copper 2 sulfate, but you're going to do the exact same thing, with the only difference being instead of copper sulfate, you will have Kool-Aid. So each group is going to be assigned 2 different solutions to make, and each group will have a different molarity of solution to make. In this example, I'm going to use copper 2 sulfate, and I'm going to make 50 milliliters of 0.1 molar solution. So in your procedure, you're going to have a different molarity, but each group is going to make 50 milliliters, so that part's going to be the same. You'll just have to substitute in a different molarity and a different formula mass. So what I'm solving for now is how many grams of copper 2 sulfate I'm going to have to put into my solution. So I use the molarity formula, which is molarity equals moles of solute over liters of solution. I have a molarity, it's 0.1. I have my liters, it's 50 milliliters, so I'm going to have to convert that. So I am solving for moles first, and then I'll convert that to grams. So if I manipulate that equation, I can get moles equals molarity times liters. If I plug in the numbers, I have 0.1 for molarity, and I'm given 50 milliliters up here. I have to convert that to liters before I can plug it in. So I can either divide by 1,000 or do it the simple way and just move my decimal over 3 spaces to the left. So I'll plug in 0.050 liters. And then I should get number 0.005 moles. And I am using copper 2 sulfate in my example. To get from moles to grams, I'm going to have to multiply by molar mass, so I've set that up in dimensional analysis form. The molar mass here is given to me, so I don't have to calculate it. It'll be given to you in the lab as well. So the molar mass is 249.68 grams. And if I calculate that out, I get 1.25 grams of copper 2 sulfate. So that's going to tell me how much I'll need in the next step. So after calculating how much I need, I'm going to use my spatula and measure out 1.25 grams of copper 2 sulfate. And hopefully it's pretty close. It shouldn't be off by more than 0.01 if you're off at all. And you're going to be using weighing paper to get the mass of your solute. So when you put the weighing paper on the balance, make sure you don't forget to zero that out before you get the mass. The weighing paper is pretty flexible, so in the next step you can go ahead and just pick that up and fold it in half and let the crystals fall down into the volumetric flask. So that's what we're going to use to make our solutions today. The volumetric flask is going to be exactly 50 milliliters, and it will have a fill line here, which will give us the exact amount of solution we need. So that's what we'll get to in the next step. So the next step is to go ahead and start adding your water in. You want to use deionized water, so that's the blue containers that should be at all the lab tables. If it needs to be refilled, just let me know. So you'll put a little bit of water into the flask and swirl it around. That's what this picture here is representing. You swirl it around a little bit to get that solute mixed in. And then you're going to continue filling up the flask. When you get to the point here where the neck starts to narrow, you want to slow down adding the water because it's going to fill really fast after that point. You want it to hit the line exactly where the bottom of the meniscus hits the fill line on the flask. If you overshoot it, there's no way to take out the solution. So if you go over that fill line, you just have to start over. So it'll save you some time to just, once you get to this point here, just fill it up really, really slowly a drop or two at a time until you hit that fill line. Ideally, you would put this little stopper on and move your flask up or upside down and then back right side up, but we don't have enough of those stoppers to go around, so more than likely your group will end up putting what's called parafilm, this little waxy film on the top to cover up the mouth of the flask there and mix that solution up. Once you have it ready to go and it's all thoroughly mixed, you're going to put some of your solution in a test tube here, and then you bring that up to me, and the way it will get checked is basically just a color target. So your color of solution should match my color of solution of the same molarity. And the last step is to make sure you clean up your station. We've been having kind of a bit of a problem with this lately. I've been finding broken glassware, matches, random trash, food wrappers, which you shouldn't have at the station anyway, and just general messiness. So let's just make this lab the lab where we all clean up our station and nobody loses points for that.